It's a giveaway, a giveaway, a giveaway. Yes, we are announcing today who won my 5,000 subscriber giveaway. Hello, my explorers, and welcome back to Loren's Adventures Out There. And if you're new, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. My name is Loren, and I'm with Castles, Capes, and Clones, where we discuss everything in the Disney universe. We talk Disney and Pixar, Marvel and Star Wars, The Muppets, 20th Century, National Geographic, Disney Plus, ABC, and Hulu. If you like talking about all that kind of Disney content, then you've come to the right place. And we'd love it if you would subscribe to our channel, hit the bell for notifications, and do like this post, as it really does help us out. Okay, so I will be announcing today's giveaway winner. But before we do that, as you know, as part of your entry, you had to ask me a question. And so I'm going to answer those questions before we get to the giveaway winner. So hold tight. I went through all the questions, lots of great questions. Thank you so much. And I kind of put some of them together that were similar. So I hope that there isn't a lot of repetition, but we'll get through this the best way we know how. Okay, so the first question was, how did your love of Disney initially start, and when did I start collecting Disney items? So, my love of Disney probably started before this, but to my memory, this was my first trip to Disneyland in 1973. I was sick, and my dad wanted to take a picture of me with Mickey Mouse, and I remember, I don't know why I remember this so vividly from when I was younger, but I just remember thinking, like my head was thinking, when your head is heavy. And then I went over and I looked at Mickey, and I just looked at him, and I felt better. So that's the magic of Mickey Mouse. And believe it or not, it was 50 years ago this year that I first went to Disneyland. And I always tell Mickey when I go to Disneyland, you remember 50 years ago when you made me feel better? And he did remember. So that's wonderful. Okay, the next question is about Castles, Capes, and Clones. I haven't watched those specific videos, but tell me more about that group, who is in it, and how did it start. So it's not really a group. What it was several years ago, I started a blog about Disney. And I, was mostly posting photos of things that I had taken pictures of. I used to be really big on Flickr, and I used to post photos of Disneyland all the time. I used to go all the time. This was when I was living down in Southern California. And anyway, flash forward many years later, probably 2019, and I want to say, and my cousin Rich, as many of you might know, he asked me if I wanted to do a podcast with them, and maybe we could use my blog name as the title of the program. And I was like, yeah, I would love to do that. I had been wanting to do something like that for the longest time. So we did a podcast that we put on, podcasting apps. And then around 2020, around the start of the pandemic, which is about the time that a lot of people started doing YouTube channels, we decided to do a YouTube channel as well, just expand onto YouTube. And our podcast became our live shows that we used to do on Tuesdays. So my cousin Rich and I are the ones that run the channel. I do most of the programming just because I have the time, and my cousin Rich has a very busy job. And so I'm hoping that soon we'll go back to be doing the lives. Right now, we put kind of a sort of pause in it during the strikes, the WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes. So SAG-AFTRA is still on strike, but we will still cover some park news. And I think we have some that we'll be recording next week. So on Monday, I think we're going to record. So anyway, that is what Castlescapes and Clones is all about. What three Disney characters, including Pixar and Marvel and Star Wars, would you like to have dinner with? So, obviously, Miss Bianca from The Rescuers, because she's traveled the world and she has a Hungarian accent, and I just loved. When I was younger, I loved Ava Gabor's voice, and so to be able to listen to that voice all night long would be wonderful. Let's see. I would also like to have dinner with Russell, the wilderness explorer, because I'm basically Russell, and I think that we would have a good time together. And then the last one is Sadness from Inside Out, because I learned a lot from Sadness about accepting that it is part of me, and when I'm depressed, I shouldn't be angry at myself for being depressed. And that, you know, like I said, our emotions, we are our emotions, and we can't hide them. So she would be a great person to talk to. Okay, the next one is from Jake from Jake's Disney Afternoon. I'm just going to say it because it's going to sound weird if I don't tell you who sent this. But the first one is, how is your children's book coming? So Jake had given me a blank little golden book a while ago, and you know, because he really wanted me to start my children's book that I've always threatened to do. And I ran across it the other day, and I want to do it so bad, but I'm just afraid of starting it. I don't know why. I'm just paralyzed about starting this book that I've wanted to do. So I hope soon, Jake. I hope. And then his second question was, and when are we having dinner, lunch, coffee, breakfast, snack? Jake, if I could hop on a plane to New York, I would definitely do it right now. So hopefully one day I would love that. All right, so what is your favorite content to create? Right now, actually, my favorite things to create are my short subjects for YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, where I basically take scenes from different Disney movies and like either make commentary on them, or like some kind of meme as well. I'll do that. It's just a lot of fun for me to do, and it's easy for me to do it on the phone. I'll just do it there. I'll film it on the phone, and then I'll use either CapCut or TikTok's editing tools, and then I'll upload them across the different apps. So that's my favorite thing to do right now. But in terms of the long form YouTube, it's a deep dives. I love it. I think that I was born to be a researcher. I just love to do research, and I love to find out, things, how things happen, and appreciate who, um, did these films and stuff like that. So, anyway, that's the favorite content. If you could become any Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars character, who would you want it to be? Um, so, I'm basically Russell. I'm egg shaped. I'm Asian American. All I need is a wilderness explorer costume, and I am Russell. And so I think that's probably who I would want to be. And it doesn't hurt that you got somebody with a dirigible as a friend. So yeah, I like it. All right. If you could only watch one Disney movie for the rest of your life, what would you choose? And it would be The Rescuers. The Rescuers is my favorite film, and yeah, I think that I would love watching it over and over again. A lot of people find it boring or whatever, but I love it. And a lot of people don't realize that it was actually a big hit for Disney in 1977. So there you go. For them to make a sequel in the 90s. And unfortunately, that sequel did not do as well. But yeah. Okay, and the next question is, why is The Rescuers your favorite movie? Madame Medusa also your favorite villain? And do you have a collection of her, if so? So, The Rescuers is my favorite movie because it is, I think, the first Disney film in its original release. Like, I'm pretty sure I watched Robin Hood in its original release, but I don't remember watching it in its original release. Like, I probably remember watching it later. Um, and The Rescuers is one that I remember, and it just always had a special place in my heart. I don't know why, for some reason, Miss Bianca always reminded me of my aunt, and so there was that. I read all the Marjorie Sharp books, and I loved them. That Marjorie Sharp's books are what The Rescuers are based on. And so, yeah, I just love that. Madame Medusa is, of course, my favorite villain. I just think that she is just so over the top. You got Milt Kahl, one of the nine old men, who is responsible for animating her in just this like really fabulous way. He based it on apparently his ex-wife. And then you've got Geraldine Page's voice. And what do I collect her? There's not a lot of Madame Medusa's stuff, but if you look up there, there is a statue of Madame Medusa, and then next to it, you probably don't see it, but there's a postcard that my friends at Just Family Adventures sent me, which was very nice of them. And then I also have this ornament, which I just realized was on my desk not too long ago. Sketchbook ornament. And so those are my kind of Madame Medusa things, as well as the pins I have of Madame Medusa. All right. Next one was sent to me by Meg from Megalodus Geek. And again, I had to explain this because it's a very specific question. Who is your favorite X-Men and why? So my favorite X-Men is Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler has the power of teleportation, but he looks like a blue demon of some sort. And strangely, I had the biggest crush on him when I was younger. And I will post a picture of him up here, just in case you aren't familiar with who Nightcrawler is. And I don't know. I liked his powers. I think that he was awesome, and I liked his red and black leotard costume. But also, if you watch X-Men 2 at the very beginning of the film, I mean, like, so exciting. I mean, like, seeing him come to life like that was so amazing to me. So, anyway, Nightcrawler is my favorite. All right, this was sent to me by Clarissa from a couple of kiddos, and because she loves Chip and Dale. Who do I like better, Chip or Dale? The answer is Dale, because he's the goofier one, and I just relate to the goofiness. Which live action would you like Disney to make? So I'm assuming that this is a question about an animated film. But I just wanted to interject. There is a live action film that I would love for them to remake, and it is Condor Man from 1981. It's the most ridiculous thing about a superhero in a condor suit. I'll show you a picture here, but I loved it as a kid. I watched it again recently, and it's not as good as I remember it. So I would like to make it good by making it to have it being remade. Um, but in terms of animation, like what I would like to give, I mean, I'd love to see. I love the princess films, and one of the ones they haven't done yet is Princess and the Frog, who is one of my favorite. Tiana, I love her, and I'd love for them to add a little bit more Cajun Zydeco sounds, music to it. So I think that would probably be what I would like them to remake as a live action. Do you think quality is down in the last 2 to 3 years with all the Disney movies and TV shows? So I honestly don't think so. I mean, I always hear people saying, "Oh, Pixar is not what it used to be," or whatever. But honestly, I mean, when I think of the films that have come out since the pandemic, so Onward, I really like Onward. Soul, I like Soul. It's not my favorite, but I think that it does have a lot to offer, and I understand why there are a lot of people who do like Soul. Luca, one of my favorite Pixar films. Turning Red, pretty much one of my favorite Pixar films. Elemental. The only one that I haven't loved is Lightyear, and I don't hate it. So I don't get why people are coming down on Pixar so much. And then in terms of Disney, yes, they released Strange World, and it did not do well, but I thought it was fun. you know, I thought it was fun. And then you had Encanto before that, and I love Raya. So, um, if if I look at Disney Plus, I think what happened was there was during the pandemic, um, the streaming service started, and Disney had this pressure on them to put out content on Disney Plus. And I think maybe they rushed some things, but honestly, recently there have been a lot of really good things, like American Born Chinese. I love that series, and I hope that they have a second season. I mean, as well as Muppets Mayhem, and then you have the Star Wars series, which I really enjoyed. So I don't, quality wise, I don't think that it's really gone down. Personally, I mean, we're living in a different world than we did before the pandemic. So, uh, but that's a really good question. I really like that question. Okay, so next, which is your favorite Disney park? Oh, it's so hard because there are so many good ones that I love. And I'm going to not include Disneyland because Disneyland's got me here. I love Disneyland. It is my favorite park, but I feel like it's too easy, and I want to give you another one. So, if I'm honest, my next favorite park is Hong Kong Disneyland. I just love it there. The cast members are so kind. The food is so delicious. And it's got some of my favorite attractions. Mystic Manor. Oh my gosh, love that. It still is one of my favorites. Um, and then you got Grizzly Gulch, which is really cute. And then you've got they were the actually Hong Kong Disneyland was the first place to have a Marvel Land, and I got to meet Iron Man there, and then also they have an electric Autopia, which I don't understand why the rest of us don't. But they just recently improved their castle, which looks gorgeous from the pictures and videos that I've seen of it, and I really want to see it in person. And I also would really love to see Arendelle in person as well when they open that up, that whole frozen section of the park. Even though I'm frozen out, it looks gorgeous. All right, which park would I want to visit next? I would want to visit Hong Kong Disneyland next because it's my favorite park. Who is your favorite celebrity you've met in the parks? So I would have to say the nicest one that was completely humble and sweet and very appreciative of um, the fact that I knew who he was Ken Jeong. Yes, Ken Jeong. He is nothing, or at least at that moment, he was nothing like the characters that he plays. He was just so nice. What is your favorite churro in the parks? This was asked by Princess Adrian over at Raising a Disney Princess. And my favorite churro was the Fluffernutter that they had at Disney California Adventure. And it had peanut butter and marshmallow, and it was so good. I loved it. Okay, when you go to Disneyland Park, do you have a place you always go to first, or do you follow a pattern each time, or do you mix it up? So this is a really good question because I'm really only able to go to Disneyland for a couple days every other month. And so I have to fit a lot of stuff into it. So I usually plan my trips around events that they're having at the Disneyland Resort. So, it could be Lunar New Year, or it could be Halloween, or it could be the holidays, or Food and Wine Festival, something like that. And for those of you who know me, I am more of a character fan than a ride fan. Like I don't actually really go on rides that often. Um, but I usually go for the characters. So I put together a list of characters I need to meet, and then I research when they are coming out, and try to hit them up then. I also put together a list of food that I want to try. And so that's basically how I plan my Disneyland days is, where I can meet the characters I want to meet at the times that I want to meet them. Um, and so anyway, that was a good question. Um, all right. Have I ever been to Orlando and visited all of the parks? And if so, where did you stay? Yes, I have been to Orlando. Um, I have I have been going since 1976. Um, when I was younger, my family, like every summer, would either go to Disneyland or Walt Disney World. And then, for a while I didn't go. And then, and then in 2009, I want to say, my cousins and I bought Disney Vacation Club to remind us of the times that we used to go when we were kids. And so we bought at Animal Kingdom Lodge, and I absolutely love it there. I mean, to open your door, your like patio door, and see animals wandering around is just so wonderful. Because that's why Animal Kingdom is one of my favorite parks at Walt Disney World, Animal Kingdom in Epcot, I would say. All right, and then the final question that I have is: if you had to give away all of your pins except one, which would you keep? So I took it out of my book. There's actually two I'm going to show you. Um, One of them is this Mickey of Glendale's. It was a D23 Expo exclusive, and it is Miss Bianca. It is one of the famous profile pins. These profile pins go for lots and lots of money, and I will never give that one away. Or Bernard. I also have Bernard. The other one that I would never give away is this one, and it kind of goes with the question about if I collect Madame Medusa. But this was created by my friend Sandy over at Flights of Fancy Fantasy Pins, and I absolutely love this pin of Madame Medusa. This is one of my favorite scenes when she is literally pulling her eyelashes off. Um, the way, I mean, it looks exactly from the movie. It's amazing. So those two pins will always stay with me forever. So anyway, that is it, and on to the giveaway winner. Let's go. Okay, so I have a YouTube random comment picker. Yes, you can see me. Hi. All right, let's go ahead and pick a winner. And it's Alexandria's Magical World. Yay! All right, so Alexandria, comment on this. Let me know where I can reach you. and I will send you out your prize pack. Congratulations! All right. If you enjoyed yourself today, we would love it if you would subscribe to our channel, hit the bell for notifications, and do like this post, as it really does help us out. Visit us on all of our socials down below, and visit our website at www.castlescapesandclones.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you later. Bye!